interpret it as adding to my tool belt of resources, of skills that I have to offer in exchange for money, value, economic empowerment for myself. Reskilling is something that I did when I changed careers. So when I went from being a clinical social worker into corporate America, I had to reskill, meaning relearn and learn skill sets that were new to me and reskill myself, fill my bucket with new skills. And so for me, that's what reskilling means. And then upskilling is adding to. And I didn't Google, I didn't do the Webster definition, but that's what
That's
I get
fine.
it from it.
Absolutely. And so that was I'm over here making a mess. That was absolutely it. Upskill is enhancing and building your skills while still pursuing your career with an upskill certificate or some form of higher education paperwork. Reskilling is the process of learning new skills so you can do a different job. So you might, and that's why I spoke about being in a dead end position, because it's so easy to settle and just get used. And this is, I was doing this. I figured with my lifestyle, I had the flexibility to do and to take care of my home and my mother. And I said, well, I'll just ride this out. And
You get
um,
comfortable.
yeah, you do get comfortable, but there's actually a price for settling and being
Mm,
comfortable. You can become dull.
yeah.
You can just kind of get lethargic mentally, and you're not using the talents that you have. So I was becoming very drained, pushing and pulling and going back to the drawing board, finding a different way to come out and, okay, let's do it again. So
Because you do
so
lose the relevance because the world keeps going whether you are
it
on the treadmill or
does.
not. you know?
It does. I called a few people because we're having an overview tomorrow. And no matter where you are, if you're interested in logging in tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll put that information on the While We Wait page. And I didn't even think to put it here, but I will put it. I'll put it out there because there's certainly a national urban lead somewhere near you who does the same thing that we do here in Southern Connecticut. So you can get an idea of the training options that are available to you. We're going to do a brief, it's going to be an overview, but we're going to talk a little bit about, I do workforce development, but we're also going to talk a little bit about the housing and economic growth as well as the entrepreneurship training, which I went through, and it was amazing. Uh, the setup was amazing because they had someone come from the different aspects. So someone came from legal one week to talk about it. Someone came from the marketing aspect. So everything that you had to deal with in the real world, there was someone to come and talk to you about real life situations. So it was great. I have my certificate, and Michelle is my mentor, uh, and we were working to bring all things together and get formally set up. So I'm excited about that. And these options are available to you. I want to say to you, I wanted to make certain that I said this if I didn't say anything else. If you have a fear of computers, I'm going to ask you to, with your fear, take the risk of learning it. Uh, Computers are not going anywhere. They are here to stay, whether you go to a restaurant and have to use the QR code. It's just not going anywhere. So here's an opportunity. This is one of the things that we're not the only one, but here's the opportunity to learn the very basics of computers. This is how you turn it on. This is how you turn it off. This is a hard drive. You know, this is software. Everything you need to know. Some are virtual, some may be hands-on, but everyone needs to get those computer skills.
You have
Um,
to have the foundation. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind in today's society because it keeps going whether you go with it or not. So, why not take advantage of the expertise, the resources, the knowledge, and upskill and reskill yourself so that you can keep up and access all of the abundance that you really have the ability to access?
Absolutely. And you said something very major. You said relevance. It is
Mhm.
so major. It is so key to remain relevant in whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter if you have a mom and pop kind of shop, you still need to know. Even if you want to, some people may say, well, I want to keep that personal touch. Keep it. That's wonderful. If that's If that's the thing that draws your crowd, keep that. But there are other areas that you need to upgrade yourself in, and that's what's so important. Um, I mean, it's how the smaller stores were closed down and the larger ones. Look, Walmart put a lot of people out of business. Target put a lot of people out of business. So how can I compete with those big dogs? Well, you absolutely can. You just have to do your research and figure out, okay, so they're good at all of this. So if it is that personal touch, let me take my personal touch. I'm really going to pay attention to those details because some people like that, like to be catered to. So you
Mm-hmm.
can take that and make it work for yourself. However, you're still going to need some of those other skills, the computer skills, and there's so many others. The thing is to find out, and even if you're unemployed or if you're stuck, you're saying, you know what, I don't know why I can't get promoted, or I don't know why I can't get out of this position. The first thing is to evaluate, assess where you are. Where am I, and where do I want to go?
And
And
tell the
then
truth. Tell the truth. If
that's
you
the
are
thing.
at ground zero, that is okay. You got to know where you're starting from. If you need to learn how to turn the computer on, that is okay because you can learn that, and then you can build upon that. Okay, now I know how to turn it on. What do I do with it, right? And that will just propel you into your success. You got to be adaptable. You have to.
You really do. You really do. I mean, if it's your writing skills, sometimes it can be that can be, maybe that's not your strong point, or even verbal. There are, oh, I can't think of the name of them, but they're national too. What's the organization? And I went a couple of times. Toastmasters.
Oh yes,
Um,
I was in Toastmasters. Your communication skills, your storytelling
yes,
skills, even your listening skills by giving feedback. All of those are critical in the job market, you know, and those are also critical with that hands-on small mom and pop businesses. You have to listen
hmm
to your customers. You have to communicate what you have to offer, and all of those they're skills. It doesn't
they
just come
are.
naturally.
They are. And you listen, I'm going to give you a wonderful illustration. If you're stuck and you always do things in a certain way. So, for instance, the last couple of weeks, I've been flipping my hair. So, if you look, you see this piece of hair right here? This hair needs to be reskinned. I tried to flip it under today because I had to take a picture, and yeah, it kept flipping up. And I'm like, but I spritzed you and everything, so it needs to be reskilled. That means I'm going to probably have to like wet it or something and then blow dry it to make it be pliable. So
And
anyway,
and and it's the consistency though, right? Because part of skilling yourself up or part of adding to your tool belt is what I call it, is being consistent. Because no one's good when you start walking as a baby, what do? You fall down
many
multiple
times,
times, again and again
yes.
and again, and yet people clap for you, right? So when
Hmm.
you're
Get
learning
up, get
something
up.
new, clap for yourself and celebrate. I'm learning something new, and it takes practice and consistency, and then you master it. And there's something called the Pareto Principle, where they teach it in corporate, where you go from incompetent, meaning you are not skilled, you don't know what you're doing, you feel so out of sorts because you're like, I am just out of a fish out of water. And then you go
Mm,
from incompetence to competence, where you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing, I got this down, all right, I can do this. And then you go to mastery, where you are like, I can do this in my sleep, I got this
yes.
down. And that's when you need to move. When Bryant was talking about the being comfortable and
Hmm.
settling, when you've mastered something, that's time to go now to become incompetent again. And it's good to be incompetent because you're learning, you're growing, you're stretching, and your potential has the ability to come out because you don't always know what's inside of you. There's skills I had no idea I knew I had
Abs-
until I went to corporate.
you're absolutely correct. I didn't know how tech savvy I was until I got to this job, and she said, "These computers, da 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 da." And I said, "Okay,"
I got
but
that.
I did it. I was like, "Oh, okay." Or if I didn't know, you know what I did? I went on YouTube, how to la 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 la, and it was a quick, easy tutorial. I'm like, "Oh shoot, I can do this." And I think another thing that's really important, Michelle, is to clap for yourself. But you know what? It is really good to have a support system, as well as someone that you can ask questions and you know they're going to answer you honestly.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so when I interact with you, what do you believe I could do better? You know, whether it's how I speak, my body language, you know, but you have to have someone that, you know, because I have some, you know, I know some people in my life who are like, oh, sis, you did it. That's not, I don't need to talk to you. No, no, no,
I
no.
need the feedback. I need the
No,
feedback to
I need
grow.
to know. Yes, I need to know. Unless you're someone like me, I normally don't ask a lot because I assess myself probably harder than anyone else would. Just like with While We Wait, I go back, I look at things. Um, like I say too much. Like I guess an ugly habit. So that's something I need to work on. I got to make that happen because I have something to say. I don't know. I think it's just a culture thing now where people say it, you know. So anyway,
Yeah. Well, you know
we're
what's
gonna.
interesting though is you've mentioned two skills that I
Mm-hmm.
bet the audience hasn't identified as skills. One of them is being able to go out and get the resources and information you need. There's a skill. It's called researching. My husband is a master at it.
Yes.
If he doesn't know something, he will
Research.
go out and find it. YouTube University, Google University, and he
Yes.
will find the information. And even Amazon University, because you can be searching for books and stuff. That's a skill, though. I don't have that skill mastered, whereas he does. It's a skill to go out and obtain information. And people actually have positions in companies for researchers. Like
They
you can get
do.
paid to to look for information.
It
So
is
that's
true.
one thing. And then the other thing that you were talking about that struck me that was a skill is being self-aware and that mindfulness of self-assessment. That's a
Mm-hmm.
skill as well that you train yourself to do. It's not something that is, innately natural to us as children. We all are selfish creatures, right? So we have to train ourselves to be objective versus subjective, meaning put the emotion aside, look at something factual, and let's really get an assessment so we can improve. And that's a skill as well. So I just wanted to highlight that there's more
Thank
than
you.
just typing, computers. Like there's skill sets that people will pay you for that are not necessarily the first things that you think about.
It's so true. And thank you for bringing that out because I didn't even think of that as a skill. However, it's something that I do. I'm actually trained to think this way. I'm trained to think after you do something, don't just look at what you believe you did well. Look at how could I have done this better? Where are my, my is that the smart thing? No, there's an acronym.
No.
There's another acronym for it, and I can't get over there right now. But
Yeah,
there's
but
an
that's part
acronym.
of enhancing your life though. How can
Yeah,
I enhance my skills,
mhm.
my personhood? How can I become a better version of me? Because there's always more
It's
until we
SWAT.
leave the earth.
SWAT.
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 Oh,
It's
yes, yes,
SWAT.
yes. Yep. Yeah, I'm familiar.
So, and you can look it up. But and I know we talked about this. It's been a while now. But when you do something to go back and assess, okay, I did this good. I did this good. Okay, that's wonderful. I'll celebrate that. However, these are areas that I can do better, or I have there are options, opportunities to do it better. So, and that's just really, it's really good. I look at, I love movies. The movie 300, when they had
Yes.
won one of the battles, and everybody was drinking and celebrating, but Leonidas was over in the cut, and he was saying, "I can't really celebrate like everyone else because I got to get ready for the next battle," which is another skill. You said awareness, and
Hmm.
but we also always, I don't want to call it a backup plan, but we should always have the mindset of, okay, if not so much if this doesn't work, if situations should happen, I'll do it this way. Like you just gotta
Being
think
adaptable,
around.
like if because things don't last forever. Like 2020 should have shown us
Yeah.
the world can change at the drop of a hat. You never know. And my executive consultant always says, listen, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
I
Be
love
ready so
it.
you don't have to get ready.
I love it.
And yeah, and that's part of just continual learning, continual enhancement of your life, which is part of what this show is all about. Is while you're
Yes.
waiting for the next thing, while you're waiting for the next chapter of your life, what are you doing to prepare and enhance your life? And part of that is accessing the resources that we're talking about today, especially if they're free and available, and just become a sponge and just soak it
Yes.
up. And then when you're ready to squeeze out, then you'll have value to offer, and then the abundance will be there. And
And
I just
thank
wanted
you.
to,
Yeah, you put it. I see it, and Sandra said it too. The SWOT is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats,
yes,
which
just
is it's a
SWOT.
yes. It's amazing. It's amazing to when you're doing tasks. It just gives you a whole different mindset because there's a quote, and this is not verbatim. Your last victory, if your victory yesterday is today's failure. So we can get
Mm.
stuck. We can get stuck
Now you
on
know how
what
I,
we
but see,
did.
now I reframe that, because that it didn't.
Okay.
I don't use the word trigger, but what came up for me with that was, I had a reaction, was was yesterday's victory is now today's starting point for tomorrow's victory.
You're a coach.
I am.
You're a coach. You're a coach. So
I
yes,
am.
you would definitely paint it pretty like that. Yes, 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 and yes. And which they are both correct. I believe it's
Yeah.
the frame of mind that you're in, because if you're
Yeah.
still celebrating, well, I used to. Well, what have you done today?
My husband says
So
it all the time. Like, I was telling him how, I think we were watching ice skating or something. I said, "Oh, I used to ice skate and I used to be on the swim team." And he said, "Look, you used to do all of these things. What's going on now? How is that relevant today?" And that's going back to that relevancy. How are we staying relevant for today's world, but not just today's world, but the future world? Because
this is true.
we're going to be living in it. So how are we preparing for it?
And you have to stay up. You really do. You got to stay up. You got to stay woke. Things are changing rapidly. You should be doing your own research. And somebody may say, "Well, how can I research?" You can go in on YouTube and type it in, however you want to say it. What will be going on in 2025? And you'll get a plethora of things that will come up for you. So we do have to keep up and to stay up.
Yes. And
Look
listen, if
up.
you, whatever you're seeking is seeking you. If you type in Google and just
True.
start typing, it'll come up. And when you are looking, it's called the RAS, it's an activation brain system.
Mm,
Um, when you're looking for something in the world, it's going to show up because it's out there. And we all have to take responsibility for our lives and be the
yes.
people and the persons that we are, and say, this is what I want. I have no idea how I'm going to get it. But
Hmm.
listen, while we wait is talking about reskilling and upskilling. I don't even know what that means. Let me Google that and get a definition. Let me
Right.
figure out. She said that there's some webinars and there's resources I can access. Well, let me, email, Bryant, and say, hook me into the network. How, give me
Hmm.
information, and that will
Hmm.
start you going.
Absolutely. And there's so many, because of the pandemic. Everything went online. So a lot of things are free, or they may be free and then you'll have to pay for a certificate at the end. LinkedIn is a great resource. There's so much stuff up there. LinkedIn, LINK,
Ed.
LinkedIn, EDIN. There we go.
LinkedIn, and that is
LinkedIn.
your professional networking. If you're an entrepreneur, you can also make your profile towards your business, but it's a great networking resource, and it's a newer social media platform. So the
Mhm.
algorithm works for you and more people respond. And you'd be surprised. There's some like big name people on there who are responding to little old people like us, who we would never have access to. Some of the sharks on Shark Tank, I've had
Yes.
conversations with in the comments and in the DMs, and that never
Wow.
would have happened except for this online, LinkedIn platform. So I encourage everyone to go to LinkedIn, make a profile, and LinkedIn also has free classes that they offer you for skill sets, confidence
Yes, they do.
building, different skills. I know the Urban League, we're promoting that, but LinkedIn also has some free
Yes.
classes that I've taken as well,
No, I'm
for
promoting too.
communication, all the things.
Yes, and I am actually putting it in the chat. I went back and got it. And this is for anyone can come on and get the information. There you go.
Yes.
This is for tomorrow at 10 a.m. Anyone can come on just to find out the services from the Urban League. The Urban League is just one of the many platforms that you can utilize. But of course, because I work for them, I want you to come and see what we have.
Well, yeah, and
But
also that'll start your brain thinking the Urban League is offering this and this and that. Well, let me take advantage of that and learn and access it, especially if it's free. I mean, come on, y'all,
yeah,
you can't get better than
it's
that.
free. It's free, and all you
Or
have to do
actually,
is
technically, it's not free because you're exchanging your time for it.
this is true.
So you are investing time, but you're not investing any finances.
So you can click on that link because you need to pre-register. You just click on the link and it will allow you to put your name in, and that's for tomorrow, March 25th at 10 a.m. However, we'll be doing another one for people that work during the day at 5 o'clock. There will be another one. I will also put that information on my While We Wait page. And before we go, I definitely want to put this plug in because upskilling and reskilling can also um, it can also take the turn, or actually reskilling, something that Michelle's involved with, or has a lot of information about, and that is incorporating yourself and monetizing yourself. And we're not going to go into that, but Michelle's going to be doing another workshop because there's so much
You can
you.
access that you
Yeah,
just being you don't have to know anything about business, and you can monetize yourself, enhance your life, and learn the skills as you go, but be accessing benefits for yourself. And it's so powerful. It's so powerful.
and a wisdom. If you are currently employed, this is the perfect time to set yourself up for business, and that's really a wise way to do it. Because I know we probably talked about this before. I say this so much. I'm looking at my life shift. So when I get to my life shift, I will have everything I need under my belt, and my business will already be going strong. And that's when I'll be able to. Well, I have to say, what I'm doing now is not like work to me because I'm loving this. So when I get to my own business, it will also be something that I'm very passionate about. One of the
Yeah.
things that I am now going back to, and you got look at what's in your hand. What can you do well? One of the things that I do well is number one is promoting people. Number two is I have the gift to fill up a room, whether that's virtual or otherwise. And I also do artistic productions. I started doing this, people just started contracting me and said, "Can you put a show together?" The Bijou Theater in Bridgeport, Connecticut, said, which is the oldest movie house in the United States. They said, "Can you do 3 shows?" And I did, and I was like, "Wow, wait, I got something here." So I'm able to. What I'm doing is I am providing fundraisers for nonprofit organizations. So I have the product, and what they do is they book the venue. They do all the other work. I just bring the product, and so
And that's
that's just a
upskilling.
talent.
That's upskilling. You had a skill, something you're good at, and
Yes,
then you were
ma'am.
able to build upon it and upskill to then broaden that out to enhance what you already had. And everybody has a gift and a talent. Everyone has something that you're good at. Everyone.
Absolutely. You just do. You just do. So I would go on YouTube and look up upskilling and reskilling. Number one, if we want to give you some assignments, do that. Number two, assess yourself. You assess yourself. See what are the talents that I have. Also, what are the areas that I need to improve? And I have to say, in 2020, I had someone do my resume, and I knew I wasn't looking for a job, but we were told, I said, okay, I'll do it. And I did. So have those things ready because you never know when you got to jump off. You just don't
Stay
know.
ready so you don't have to get
I
ready.
love it.
And
I
in
love
the
it.
process, celebrate yourself because you're doing incredible.
And having that, what they call it, an elevator speech. You need to be able to sell yourself and not made up stuff. It's really got to come from here. Like, what is it that you do? What is it that you live? And you should be able to say that just like that.
Yes,
And
I am Michelle
anyway,
Ferry, and I am passionate about paying attention saves lives, and living a life of success can only occur when you tell the truth. Now, I do that and I deliver that
I
through a
love it.
variety of ways. And so that's my start of my elevator pitch. So you can say, I am, John, I don't know. I'm whoever,
Walker,
right?
Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker, and I am skilled at communicating and delivering presentations with excellence, and I can enhance your business, whatever. Just know what you're good at, celebrate yourself. And I'm telling you, when you believe in yourself and when you're excited about it, other people sort of join in and they're like, oh, okay, she got something. Let me join her party.
Energy. That's right. That's so true. That's true. And another thing, stay connected. Like collaboration is key. I've been making phone calls to people and just saying, do you know people that need training? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, okay, well, but stay connected. Stay connected. Like I'm connected to Michelle, uh, and it's a wonderful collaboration for so many reasons. And I did not know that things would happen this way, but
And she had no idea
so
it would connect her to other people that then connect her to other people. So your
true.
network grows and everybody's in
Absolutely.
it for collaboration. And in that, you're also discovering new skills, because networking is a skill my mother taught me. Who knew that networking is a skill and you can monetize that as well? We're not going to go there because I know we're ending, but I want to highlight that everyone has a skill, and
Mhm.
celebrate your skill and the world will celebrate with you.
That's great. I love that. I love that. So I know you got a couple of things, and I have to say this, Michelle. A part of my being able to get the position that I have was from things that I learned right here on While We Wait. Because every time did I not show up with my notebook, I did, and my ink pen. So that's the empowerment, staying in the know, staying connected with someone that's in the know. Because you don't have to know everything yourself. I don't, but I got Michelle.
Well, it's more about who do I know that has that, so that you don't have to hold it all, because you are gifted in a certain area and someone else is
Mhm.
gifted in another area, and when you come together, it just expands and becomes this beautiful gift that you can give the world. And showing up, listen, having a mind of humility to say, teach me, that's another
Yes.
skill that people
Well,
have to learn.
I'm gifted.
Yes.
Oh, I'm very gifted. I'm very gifted. The Bible says, mock the perfect man. And we're not talking about just in nature, but if someone is successful and they're doing it and they're making it with integrity and
Mhm.
character, then that's where I'm with Michelle. Hey,
And they're leaving
and
clues. They're leaving
yeah,
clues. Successful people leave breadcrumbs, because when you are successful, the heart is to give back and bring people
mhm,
up with you.
it's true. It's so true. And then when you find someone to connect with, dig in your pockets because you have to pay for knowledge. Like I don't care that I know Michelle. It's not, oh, I no, Michelle, I'm paying you because you are my mentor. So that's just where that is.
Yes,
So,
value exchange. But listen, you have gotten value, but you've also increased financially, because whatever you sow, you also reap. I
mhm,
sowed significantly into my business mentors. I've made more money from my business in the last 90 days than I did in the last 8 months before I invested. So it all comes back to you.
it
It's really
does.
about how you're framing it and looking at it, because it does come back to you.
It comes back in many different ways. It comes back monetarily, but it also comes back even in your mindset. I
Yes.
now think in ways um, regarding economics and finances in a way that I never did before. So I'm
And what
still
an
learning.
asset that is, because you can implement to access more. That's the key. That's the
I
real
love
value.
it. I love it. My mind was blown after having a conversation with someone that you introduced me to. I was like, wow, that could happen. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, guys, our time is up. Michelle, you're
Woo!
amazing as always. Reskilling and upskilling. You can go back and replay this and take some notes because there were some good things in here. And again, if you're interested, I'm in Southern Connecticut at the Urban League. Tomorrow is an overview of the services that we provide. It's on Zoom. I've put it in the chat here, or you can go to my While We Wait page on Facebook. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and there will be another one on Wednesday, the 30th at 5 p.m. for those people that work in the daytime. And it's just an overview. You don't have to commit to anything. It doesn't cost you anything but your time to be there. So I hope
But
that
it'll
you will
give you
come on.
ideas. So bring a notebook.
Absolutely. And if you're not in the Connecticut area, look up the National Urban League in your area because we have affiliates all over the place. And it is an absolute amazing organization. And I know I put my plug in for Urban League because that's where I'm at, but there are a lot of things happening online. If you need assistance, reach out to me. I don't mind helping you. You can, find me. We find who we want to find. Find me, and I'll see what I can assist you with. And that's that. And stay tuned for the next workshop, which is going to be happening real soon. It's got to happen in April, Michelle. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. That part
Listen, I'm
two.
ready. I'm ready. Life is happening. Taxes are done. Tax season is almost over, so we are ready to now be building in this season for our next season.
Wonderful. And next week, the doctor will be back in the house. We'll be talking about economics and what's going on with your money and how are we thriving in this time. So Dr. Nathaniel Dunlap Jr. will be
Ooh,
back in the
you don't
house.
want to miss it.
You don't want to miss it. We're also going to have Frank Brady, who's in Connecticut. He's an educator, and we're going to have Tina. Miss Tina's coming back.
All
Miss Tina
right.
with the backup plan. She'll be back on the 28th of April. Frank Brady is the 21st of April, and Miss Tina is on the 28th, and she's got a new product, which she told us about the last time she was here. She was getting it worked out, so she's coming back with that. And I'm certain a lot has happened since we've spoken with her last, so I'm excited about those things. But listen, we'll see you next week, same time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, be strong, be wise, keep enhancing your life because life is worth living. And we're all waiting for something, right, Michelle?
Yes, we are. We are all waiting for something, and this is the place you want to be every single week.
Have a great day, the rest of your day, or good evening, wherever you are. Have a good one.
Stay wise. I live here.